Take a couple of breaths. One more time. Take a deep breath in. Breathing out. Bend backwards. Breathe normally to hold. Breathing in, come back. Breathe out and then breathe in and out a couple of times. Now once again breathe in. While breathing out, keeping the head looking up, bend forward. When the body is parallel to the ground, tilt your head and then look down, take the head closer to the knees. Breathe normally to hold position. Then breathing in, come back to neutral. Now sideways bend. So take a little more distance between the feet. Keep your right hand on your waist. Left hand along the ears. Straight. Hand will be straight. Bend laterally to the right side. Keep the hand straight. Bend laterally to the right side. Keep the hand straight. Don't lean forward. Don't lean backwards. Then breathe in, coming back. Then bring the left hand down. Then keep the left hand at the waist. Right hand straight above. Keep the hand straight. Bend to the left side. Keep the hand straight. Don't lean forward, don't lean backward. Go according to capacity. And then breathing in, come back, release. One more time. Right hand on the waist, left hand straight above. Breathing out, bend to the right side. Then breathe normally and hold the position. Breathing in, come back. Breathing out, bring the hand down. Now keep the left hand on the waist. Breathing in, take the right hand up. Breathing out, tilt to the left side, laterally. Don't lean forward, don't lean backward. Keep the hand straight. Breathe normally to hold position. Breathing in, bring the hand back. Breathing out, bring it down. Now, Trikonasana, spread the legs as wide as you can. While breathing out, you will breathe in and take the hands up. While breathing out, turn to the right side and with the left hand, touch the right toe and the right hand goes up. Then breathing in, come back. Breathing out, turn to the left side. One. Second round. Second round. Come back. Left side. Now, we'll do this a little more dynamically since this is warm-up practice. So what you will do is keep the hands in this position and move fast. One, one, two, two, three, three, four, four, five, five, six, six, seven, seven, eight, eight, nine, nine, 10, 10. Then release. Now try and see if you can do a traditional Trikonasana, the way it is said. So you'll spread your legs as much as you can. And then you will turn the right foot to the right side. You will bend the right knee. Keep the right elbow on your right hand. And then take the left hand over your ears. When you reach this level, release the hand, take it down to the side. The right palm is along the right foot. Come down as much as you comfortably can. Keep the hand straight. Then come back. Then do it on the other side. The left foot is facing to the left side. Bend the left foot at the knees. Left elbow on the left hand. Right hand above the ears. And then slide the left hand down towards the feet. Come down as much as you possibly can comfortably. Keep the hand straight. Very good. Come back. And then relax. Sit down. Be in your yogic breathing. So start by breathing in from the abdomen, then expand the chest, then expand the shoulder and the clavicle, continuing to breathe. Then hold your breath, then release the shoulder clavicle, then the chest, then the abdomen, and press the abdomen as much inside as possible, pushing out the maximum amount of air. Continue in this practice, focusing your attention completely on your breathing till we start the class. Yogic breathing with complete concentration and attention. Get ready to chant mantra Om 7 times. Make your sankalpa and chanting Om, creating protective energy field around me that keeps me protected from all external negative influences, external antibodies and viruses. I am creating my protection in 3 layers. On the outermost layer, I have 6 friendly creatures, an elephant behind me, a peacock in front, a tiger on the right, a lion on the left, an eagle above me, and a black tortoise below me. These 6 friendly creatures guard against all negative influences from 6 directions, keeping me protected. Inside of that is a big ring with balls of fire. I am lighting all the balls. A firewall is going up all around me that consummates any negative energy, any antibodies or viruses that try to penetrate towards me. And the third layer of protection comes from the subtle energy of mantra Om that I'm chanting. Now take your awareness to your perineum at the cervix for ladies, between the genitals and the anus for men. Visualize a 4-petal lotus. From this lotus, visualize the color of energy red coming up from inside your spinal cord, piercing from the center of your head, falling all around you like a fountain, creating a protective energy wall around you. As we go further in the chanting, the number of petals in the lotus will change, the color will change, but the visualization will remain the same. So take a deep breath in for a mantra. Now take your awareness to the spinal terminus, the coccyx bone, 6-petal lotus, color orange. Increase your pitch a little bit. Take a deep breath in. Take your awareness to the Manipura chakra, behind the navel, 10-petal lotus, color yellow. Increase your pitch a little more. Take a deep breath in. Take your awareness behind your heart center, Anahata chakra, 12-petal lotus, green color. Increase pitch further. Take a deep breath in. Take your awareness to Vishuddhi chakra behind your throat pit, 16-petal lotus, blue color. Increase pitch further. Take a deep breath in. Take your awareness to Agnya chakra behind the eyebrow center, 2-petal lotus, color indigo. Take a deep breath in, increasing pitch further. Take your awareness to Sahasrara chakra, top of the center of your head, 1,000-petal lotus, color white. Increase pitch further. Take a deep breath in. Shanti mantras. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamavidamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harigi Om. Keep your hands in Linga Mudra, interlace all the 4 fingers. Left hand thumb is standing erect. The right hand thumb and the index finger will rotate around the left hand thumb. Keep your hands near your heart center and join me in making your sankalpa for chanting Mahamrityunjaya mantra. I'm chanting Mahamrityunjaya mantra for physical health and mental well-being. Chanting the mantra every day helps me maintain the best of health, mentally and physically. All the brain cells and the body cells are operating in harmony, are operating optimally and in harmony with each other. I can feel your grace penetrating deep into my body, energizing each and every brain cell and body cell, keeping me in pristine health. I bow down before you, thanking you from the bottom of my heart for keeping me in pristine health. And I promise to put in efforts from my side for keeping this body in a healthy condition, befitting for you to reside inside me in your effulgent form. If you know the mantra, chant along. If you don't, then just be in the midst of the sound vibrations of the mantra. Om Triambakam Yajamake Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakam Yajamake Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakam Yajamake Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Very gently release your hands and keep them on your knees. And try and keep your body absolutely still and immobile. When you keep the body completely still and stable, the mind becomes quiet. So just focus attention on your mind to see the reduced dissipation in your own thoughts. Feel a very strong connection between you and Mother Earth. Be confident that she will always provide you for all your necessities. Feel a unique surge of energy penetrating from Mother Earth into your body, spreading all through the body in the form of streaks of light, reaching every nook and cranny inside the body. Feel a unique surge of confidence spreading all through you, giving you the courage and the determination and confidence to face up to all external situations, either pleasant or unpleasant. And very gently open your eyes, release your positions, and start getting ready for the practices for the day. So we'll be on lesson 4 now. As per our practice, we will be practicing the new asanas introduced in this lesson first, today and in the next Thursday. And in the last 2 classes, we will run the full lesson. There are only 4 new asanas in this lesson. They're all substantially pertaining to the back muscles. It starts with Bhujangasana. So we'll start with Ardha Bhujangasana first and then compare the difference between Ardha Bhujangasana and Bhujangasana. And then practice it 4-5 times to get the practice correct. And then we'll move on to the other practices. So for this, you will first come on your stomach. Let me finish the demonstration, then you can start. In Ardha Bhujangasana, you will keep your forehead on the ground. Your fingers are in the same line as your forehead. And in this position, using your back muscles, you will lift the body up till the arms are perpendicular to the forearm. And you look up. Your movement must be originated from the back. Your hands must be very light on the floor. It must not press on the floor. Look up wherever you can. This is Ardha Bhujangasana. So let us practice this 2 times before we move to Bhujangasana. Start. Adjust your camera so that I can see you completely, so that I can help you in case there is necessity to correct. You're initiating the movement from your back. Hands are light on the ground. Make sure your fingers are in line with your forehead. If necessary, move the hands a little closer and then bring it back. Very good. 2 times and then relax. Then we'll see Bhujangasana and the difference between Bhujangasana and Ardha Bhujangasana. So Bhujangasana is called the cobra's pose. It's like the way the cobra comes up before it strikes on its victim. That's why it is called Bhujangasana. Now in this practice, the first difference is my hand is in line with the shoulder. It's not along the forehead. So you're moving the hand to be in line and slightly outside the shoulder, not under the shoulder, slightly away. Now in this, the feet are facing the ceiling. You will first lift the head up. So when you lift the head up, you will feel a contraction on the back of the neck and an extension of your front side of the neck. That's called the flexion of the back, extension of the neck. So be very completely aware. Feel the tension at the back of the neck, the stretching of the front side of the neck. Then giving pressure on the hand. With the help of the hand, continuing to look up, you will come up. Now, most important instruction in this is, it is not necessary for your hand to come up completely straight, but more important is your navel should be in the ground. So based on your position, the hand may be a little bent or the hand may come up depending on how you are positioning yourself. But make sure your navel is on the ground. In this position, look up and hold your position. So you will be breathing in when you're coming up and breathing, hold, you will breathe normally when you're holding the position, and then when you're ready to go down, breathe out. So that's the first instruction. Additional instructions I'll give you in the second round. So let's get the first round correct. Everybody start from the starting position. Please keep your hands under the shoulder. Keep the hands under the shoulder. Feel your whole body. Become aware of the posture in which you're lying down. Make sure your hands are just a little away from the shoulder, a little away, at the same level as the shoulders. Now lift your head up. Feel the contraction of the back of the muscle of the neck. Feel the extension of the front side of the neck. Now putting pressure on the hand, come up. Make sure your navel is on the ground. Now breathe normally in this position. Breathe normally in this position. Hold your position. And then very slowly breathing out, come down. Now the second time when you're coming up, I want you to focus additionally on your spinal column and the vertebrae. The vertebrae, one by one, will start flexing. Starting from the neck, will go all the way back to the lowest vertebrae. So feel how each one of them is flexing. So when you're coming up, first you're turning the head up. Then when you're coming up, one by one, feel the vertebrae till the last vertebrae you can feel which is flexing. Continue to look up. And then come down slowly. Start. Be aware of the flexing of the vertebrae. That's very important for this asana for you to get the benefit. Now let us understand what are the benefits of this asana. So connect the benefits of the asana along with what you are doing. So first you are moving the head up. When you're moving the head up, the front side of the neck is completely stretched, activating both your thyroid and parathyroid glands. That is one of the reasons why this asana is not recommended for those who are suffering from hyperthyroid, because this will activate the thyroid glands further. If you're already suffering from hyperthyroid, it will aggravate the problem. So for those who are having hyperthyroid, this is not recommended. That's the first benefit that you get from this asana. The second benefit is you're going up. The vertebrae are all flexing one by one, and it gives a tremendous advantage on the back muscles. The vertebrae start getting aligned in position because of this practice. Third, you could give a nice pressure on the kidneys and the adrenal gland. It squeezes the blood out, that is the stale blood out from the kidneys. And then when you're coming back, good blood rushes back into the kidneys. This improves the functioning of the kidneys. And when the functioning of the kidneys is improved, elimination of waste from the body increases and becomes more efficient, keeping you more fit in that sense of the term. The same thing happens as far as the back is concerned. The stale blood is squeezed from in between the vertebrae, and good blood is inundated when you're going back into position. So this ensures that all the nerves that flow out from the spinal column into different parts of the body, they're all getting energized, and therefore the communication from the brain to different parts of the body is improved because they are maintained much better. You can find relief from sciatica, from back pain, but if you're currently suffering back pain, you should be careful as to how you are coming up. So we'll practice 2 more rounds, and then we'll see whether you can do a slightly more advanced version of it, and then we'll go to the next asana. So 2 more rounds on your own. Visualize all the benefits that I just now mentioned, but the practice is not advisable if you have got any tuberculosis of the intestines or peptic ulcer. This also you must keep in mind. Also hernia. Navel on the ground. Keep that in mind. Navel on the ground. Feel the vertebrae flexing at the back one by one when you're going up. Come down slowly, seeing the reverse of the vertebrae as well. Releasing of the neck muscles from the back. Be aware of all this. Only with awareness, yogic practices give you benefit. Once you've completed the round, relax, and I will show you the next variation. Yeah. Now get ready to watch the next variation. By and large, you come up. After you come up, you try and flex the shoulders a little more, increase the back curvature a little more. It's a little difficult for me to speak at the same time demonstrate. So what you do is, this is how the muscle, the shoulder goes flexing, and increase the curvature. Feel a slight tinging, a twingling slight pain at the back you may notice, which indicates you're doing it correctly. And then release and come down. First, just practice, and then you will increase a little bit on the breath.
Sir, the navel is on,
And
no? Sir,
navel is on the floor, on the floor, on the floor.
on the floor only.
That insert, yeah, on the floor only. Most yoga practitioners will not mention it, but it's very, very important. Now, in this, if it is possible, breathe in when you're coming up, hold your breath as long as you can, and then releasing the breath, come down. And try one more variation. Breathe in fully, hold your breath and come up. Breathe in fully, hold your breath and come up, and then releasing the breath, come down. And see the difference this makes. Be aware of the difference. Last round, and then we move on. Complete and then relax. Now we're going to do something called Shashanka Bhujanga Asana. It's a combination of Shashank Asana, which we did in the last lesson, and the Bhujanga Asana. These two are combined together. So to get ourselves oriented, we will first practice Shashank Asana. So we said Shashank Asana, you will breathe in, bring both the hands up, keep them along your ears, hold your breath, and then breathing out, you will keep the hand, the head all together, and you will come down till you can reach down and touch the ground. And then you will breathe normally here. And then when you're coming up, breathing in, you'll keep the hands and the head together. And the buttocks will continue to be on the feet. This is what we said in Shashank Asana. So don't let it come up like this. If you don't touch the floor, that's okay. If the forehead doesn't touch the floor, it's okay. But make sure that the buttocks continue to sit on the feet. Don't allow it to come up. Come down only as much as you're comfortable. This is Shashank Asana. 2 rounds of Shashank Asana, and then we'll continue to Shashank Bhujangasana. Only go down wherever you're comfortable, but touch the hand on the ground if possible. The head need not touch, but let the hand touch. Yes, that's right. Release. Now we'll try and understand Shashanka Bhujangasana. Now, in this practice, you will first come to the same position as Shashankasana. After that, you will slightly lift the forehead off the ground. The nose is very close to the ground, and you will start moving forward like this and coming up into Bhujangasana. And you are breathing in when you are doing this. And then while breathing out, you will come back like this directly back to Shashankasana. So let me show once again. You'll slightly raise the forehead from the ground. The nose is very close to the ground. Keeping the nose very close to the ground, you'll move forward like this. Come up into Bhujangasana, navel on the ground. Hold your breath or you can breathe normally. And then breathing out, you will slightly come up on the knees and then bring the body back into Shashankasana. Try it out. First come to Shashankasana, take the hands up, go down to the Shashankasana position, and then slightly raise your forehead. Nose is very close to the ground. And then start moving the nose forward. All right. 1 second. Just wait a minute. When you're coming up, try and keep the face and the nose close to the ground. Don't try to immediately come up so much. It should come like this. Imagine you are an aircraft which has to take off from the ground. So it has to come like this, like this, like this, and then take off. So keep the nose as close to the ground till you're ready to come up at the end. Try it, if possible. I'll demonstrate once again if you want. Very good. I think you're getting the hang of it. Practice 2-3 more rounds to make it smoother and then relax. Whenever you want to relax, relax. Practice 3-4 rounds and relax. Shashanka Bhujangasana gives you both the benefits of Shashanka Asana as well as Bhujangasana. Breathe out while coming down, breathing in when you're raising the body up. Breathing normally or holding the breath, then breathing out when you're coming back to Shashankasana. Release and relax. The question that normally is asked is if it gives me both the benefits of Bhujangasana and Shashankasana. If I practice Shashanka Bhujangasana, then can I avoid practicing Bhujangasana and Shashankasana? The answer is no. There are certain differences, and therefore those two asanas gives you benefit. The combination does not give the same benefits in totality. So the benefits are slightly varying, and therefore you should practice Shashankasana, you should practice Bhujangasana, then practice Shashanka Bhujangasana. Shashanka Bhujangasana is very good for female reproductive systems and particularly for ladies post-pregnancy to tone up the abdomen. This asana is very much recommended. So if you know anybody who can benefit, you can recommend it to them. And it also supposedly relieves you of menstrual disorders. So it's a very, very good asana for ladies in particular. Now we'll move to the next asana, which is called Sarp asana.
Sir, I have one
For
question.
those with high, yeah.
When you're coming
Go ahead.
back from that prone position,
Yeah.
you said you have to lift yourself a little and then move back, right?
From the prone position, for you to see your forehead is completely on the ground.
Right.
When it is touching the ground, it is very difficult to move. So the forehead comes up a little bit, the nose moves a little forward, and the nose is closer to the ground, and keeping it at the same distance, you keep coming on till you're ready to come up. Then the nose comes up. And of course, your navel on the ground.
No, I
If
meant
it comes up like this, the navel is
go
above the
back.
ground. Yeah. Go back is like this. You lift the knees up, and therefore you will come up into your this position, Svanasarshana position, and then you will come down.
Got it. Okay.
So you will bend the knees. If I will show it from here, you are like this. You first lift the knees up. It will come in this position. Then you start bending forward, backward, sorry, and then come down. So if you want to try one last round, you can try.
No, it's okay. I've understood. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. All right, fine. So next asana is Sarpasana. So those with high blood pressure should avoid this practice, and those with heart trouble also, or hernia. This again strengthens your spinal muscles, gives you a good massage of the abdominal area and the pelvic area. So Sarpasana and Bhujangasana, the variation is the way you hold your hands. So in Bhujangasana, you are coming up. In Sarpasana, you keep the forehead on the ground, hands are at the back. The right hand will hold around the wrist of the left hand at the back. Or you can interlace the fingers at the back also is okay. And then breathing in, you will come up. You will breathe in, hold your breath and come up. And then you will raise the hands, try to go up a little more. And then breathing out, you will come down. So breathe in, hold your breath. If you want to see from the other side, let me show you this also. Interlacing the fingers, breathing in, hold, first come up, then raise the hand. Now when you're coming up, feel the nice curvature at the lower back. See the lower back flexing completely. How the vertebrae are moving there. What is happening? The front muscles are extending. Be aware of the front muscles extending, the back muscles contracting. When you're coming down, feel the release of the back muscles and the release of the front muscles as well. Very good. Raise the hand away from the back. Go up a little more. Wonderful. Lovely. Second round. Last round. Now get ready for the next practice. You can sit up, stretch your legs forward. Keep the hands by the side of the body at the back, slightly near the buttocks, facing backwards. Fingers pointing backwards. Now in this position, first observe and then you can practice. So till then you can relax. You will fold the left leg, cross it over to the right side. After that, you will turn around, bring the left hand to be placed similar to the right hand. In this position, you will try to turn a little more by taking the right hand further away and turn as much as you can, giving a nice, good spinal twist. And then when you're coming back, you will bring the right hand back and then take the leg out. If you have acute knee problem, you will not do this. If the knee problem is still there, instead of crossing, just keep it on the same side. Because the crossing may aggravate the problem, so keep the leg on the same side. All those who don't have any problem can cross it onto the other side. So keep both the legs, both the hands at the back, facing backwards. Cross the left leg over to the right, and then turn back. Keep the left hand along with the right, look behind. Now when you're comfortable, turn the right hand a little away and try to turn a little more, wherever you are comfortable. And then come back, release the leg. Now, second round when you're practicing, you will first breathe in. While breathing out, you'll cross the leg and turn to the right side. And then you will breathe normally, keeping the position holding. And then you will breathe in when you're coming back. So start, breathe in, breathing out, while taking the leg across and turning the hand and going to the other side. And then continue to breathe normally to keep the position. And then breathing in, come back, release the leg. Now the other side. So cross the right leg over to the left. And then take the right hand behind, look behind. Then take the left hand further away, turn a little more. And then breathing in, release the leg, release the right leg. Last round.
So can you show it sideways?
Yeah, sure. Last round.
So what's the name of this asana?
Meru Vakrasana. Meru Vakrasana. There are different ways of practicing it as well. Some people will actually tell you to keep the right hand here and then cross it, bring the left hand parallel and be like this and only turn right. This is a little easier. So if you keep the right hand on the side here, bring the left hand, keep it straight, and then just turn it back. So that's another way of doing it as well. But the book says, take the hand behind and then take the hand further. So I went by what the book says. Okay. Now sit in a meditative position, whichever position you are comfortable, where you will not move your body. Those who are completely confident that they will not go off to sleep can practice this lying down. The choice is yours. It's called a meditation practice. I recommend sitting down because in the sleeping position you might doze off. So sit in the comfortable position. Keep your hands whichever way you're comfortable. If you want, keep the one hand on the other or keep it on the knees, wherever you are comfortable. Gently close your eyes and follow instructions. Very slowly and steadily become conscious and aware of your body posture. How are you sitting? How steady is your body? Make some slight movements in the body if you want now, so that your temptation to move the body will be less later. Make slight adjustments to the body to make it comfortable. Then very slowly bring your awareness to your heart. Shut out all external disturbances and just try and focus your attention on your heartbeat. Can you feel the heartbeat? Initially, you may find it difficult, but as you keep paying attention, you will start feeling the pulse of the heartbeat. It's one organ that continuously works 24/7 from the time you're born to the time you're alive. But we rarely pay attention to this organ. So pay attention now. Now take your attention to your wrist. Can you feel the pulse at the wrist? My apologies. As can happen with technology, I connected the power cord to a wrong thing, then the power drained off and the computer shut off. So I'll extend the session by 5 minutes today. So we'll restart once again. Start by focusing your attention onto your heart center. Feel the pulse of the heart. Feel the heartbeat. Become completely aware of the heartbeat. When you start paying attention, you can easily start feeling the heartbeat. Now feel the pulse at the wrist. Now try and connect the heartbeat and the pulse at the wrist. Feel the synchronization between the two. Now try and see if you can feel the pulse at the forehead or the sides of the forehead. Now try and shift your attention to the back of the neck and see if you can feel the pulse at the back of the neck. Now choose any other part of the body and feel the pulse at that part of the body. Now bring your awareness to your breathing. Watch your breath go inside the nostril and go outside the nostril. Breathe in from the nose, breathe out from the nose. Watch the breath go in, watch the breath go out. Now slowly start counting. When you're breathing in, count 1. When you're breathing out, count 2. Next time breathing in, count 3. Continue like that till you count about 20. Now feel the breath at the throat. When you're breathing in, feel as though it is going in from the throat and going out from the throat. Feel it inside the throat. Now start counting 1 to 20. Now shift your attention to your chest. When you're breathing in, feel the rib cage expanding. When you're breathing out, feel the rib cage contracting. Don't change the phase of your breath. Just let it be normal. Once you can feel the chest expansion and contraction, then start counting 1 to 20. Now shift your attention to your abdomen. Feel the abdomen expand when you're breathing in, contract when you're breathing out. Once you're aligned with the breathing of movement of the abdomen, start counting 1 to 20. Bring your attention back to the posture in which you're sitting. Be aware of the steadiness of your posture. Mentally recall the meditation practice you did today, starting from the heart pulse, heartbeat, to the wrist, to the forehead, the back of the neck, the other part of the body, to breathing in at the nostrils, breathing in at the throat, breathing in at the chest, breathing in and out at the abdomen. Become conscious of the surroundings around you. Be aware of any noise you can hear around you. Watch your thoughts. Slowly get ready to chant Om 3 times. Make your sankalpa. You're chanting it, creating protective energy field around you. Take a deep breath in for Om mantra. Shanti mantras. Asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma mritam gamaya, sarvesham swastir bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ. Rub your hands nicely. When you're warm, then keep them on your eyes. Feel the warmth flowing in from the palm into your eyes. Then very gently open your eyes. Be observant of what colors you see when you open the eyes. And then release your palms. Hari Om Tat Sat. Once again, my apologies for the goof up I did in the connection. Ideally, meditation practice should not be broken. The next time we'll do a more detailed meditation practice. My apologies once again. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Bye.